Is that a single monster, or is that two monsters?
Yeah.
We are live after over a month together. All right, so welcome back after many technical difficulties on my end, and then life in general. I think for all three of us at one point. I think John and Mikey was putting together a bed last week. John was without voice.
Yes.
I've been sick for the past week, but I'm feeling a little bit better today. And then I think it's just been a whole lot more bullshit other than that. So
Doug is cheerful.
I am the Christmas Grinch every December. So that's just me.
Don't be grinchy.
Green like the Grinch. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing pretty
Good. I'm full, even though I didn't like my bread.
Your gluten-free bread?
It was terrible.
You ate it all, though, huh?
I did eat it all, yeah. I didn't eat all the bread. No, I didn't eat all the bread. I actually got a fork and ate the chicken off the bread. It's really bad.
She had a sandwich bowl.
Yeah, that's how I did it. It's not good. Don't ever do it. Trust me. Not from Jersey Mike, at least.
Jersey Mike's good food, though.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did it right with my Italian. Yeah. The Italian was wonderful. It was just normal white bread. It was very good.
Ooh, my camera's doing some funky shit. I don't know. I got a brand new camera thing that would fix a lot of my woes too, and that's not been the best either. So
I saw a flash. I saw two ducks. That was scary.
yeah, still doing that. Yeah. Alexa, turn off Twitch. Alexa, home screen.
Yes, sir.
It's only Michael's going through it. Oh man, we are in all kinds of technical difficulties. All right, who has the microphone up to their nose?
Sorry, that's me. I was leaning over.
Okay.
I had to breathe through my nose and dying.
Can you breathe through your nose right now?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you heard.
I did. So, well, anyways, we are doing a rebranding currently, and then we're going to be converting over to Wendibros. You guys are echoing bad. I don't fucking know.
Hold on.
Who's we guys?
Oh, yeah, we are echoing on the stream.
All of you. How about
Not
now?
me.
How are you listening to us, Doug?
I heard John.
I'm having a lot of weird feedback and static. Well, let's see here. Okay, I got it. Hold on. How about now? Do we sound good now?
Yes.
Do we sound good now?
All right. So who has Twitch on their phone right now?
I just turned it on to turn it up to hear myself. Boy, your camera is glitching hard.
Yeah.
Look at these two boomers with their technical difficulties.
We need two boomers with tech. I did it on purpose.
Not me. I know what I'm doing.
I was the only one that wasn't echoing a minute ago, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, my camera's going nuts right now.
Do you have any? Is your phone close to it, or any other kind of like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth enabled device close to it?
This is a new camera, so that's probably what it is. Let's see here.
Man, those new cameras suck.
Turn it to channel 3.
Have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in?
Yes.
Oh.
All right. Who is... I'm still hearing a lot of breathing.
I hear that too. I thought you were doing that on purpose.
That was
I just need to move it away.
good.
It's because I'm like leaning over to read chat on my phone. And apparently...
Can you pull it up on your PC?
Huh?
Can you pull it up on your PC?
I mean, I could, but I just didn't want to. I just didn't think about it.
Oh.
I just pull it up on my phone because it's just like, I'm not listening to it. I just pull it up so I can see chat. But...
All right. So, this has been a great start for rebranding and well, luckily it's not on our new channel, so yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with this.
It ain't that new.
That's good. I'm just finishing up lunch break. What are you eating for lunch, J-Man? Michael had a bunch of Jersey Mikes, and John had...
Jeremy's supposed to eat Jersey Mike's with me sometime.
John had some tacos. Christy made chicken thighs, bacon-wrapped asparagus, and roasted potatoes tonight. They were very good.
He's eating nothing for his lunch break.
He's eating nothing. That's a low-fat diet.
Yumma dum dum. What? You're not eating anything. Damn.
All right. Yeah, it doesn't look like the razor's even coming up at all now on the Razor Synapse. Oh well.
What's the Razor Synapse?
That's what
I don't know what
the
that
camera
means.
is. It's actually a $200 camera that I managed to get for $50. It was supposed to be basically a DSLR without all the bullshit that was with that Canon that I was using, which the Canon actually had been working fine for a while, so I guess I should have just stuck with the Canon. So, all right. Well, if you see right here, this right here is our new logo for our rebranding that's coming up. Captain Bowie is going to be mostly, primarily, exclusively, focusing on games after this, and then we'll have a Wendibros channel. Been working a lot on some new editing features. Got a lot of new exciting things coming around. Hopefully, I'll be heading into Kingsport here soon to do a little bit on that, and then also actually have a drone coming in that I managed to get a good deal on for some aerial footage and sky footage too, and we'll be doing that too. I'd like to get to South Pittsburgh. There's actually an abandoned hospital in South Pittsburgh that you can take tours on, and they actually want content creators to come out there and stuff too. So that would actually be pretty neat. And then also Hales Bar Dam. I'd like to stay in there and actually get some a little bit of investigating there too. Again, I'm not really a skeptic. I like to talk about the lore and the story of it first before I do anything. But I do want to go out there and see, and I want to believe. So tonight's topic is actually, I'm sorry if I sound congested. Got a lot of drainage. But tonight's topic is Monsters of the South. So again, pardon all the technical difficulties, and it's just been a clusterfuck. Monsters of the South, and I think Christy was in Discord, and then she left Discord. Maybe she's playing some Baldur's Gate 3. I told her she should play some Baldur's Gate 3. But she did say that she put something in the chat. Let's see here. Where is the chat? There we go. Yeah, it does not look like she did that.
I'm looking right at it.
Oh, okay. So it's in the general. Okay.
Yes, good. Yeah, general.
All right. So
5 mythical creatures.
Okay. So 5 mythical creatures that reportedly roam Alabama's back roads. Let's put that in there. Well, Bigfoot's the obvious. You know, it's always Bigfoot, big feet.
What about Stinky Ape? Is that the same thing or no?
Do what?
Is Stinky Ape the same thing or no?
The skunk ape.
Ape.
The stinky ape.
Stanky ape. Yeah, skunk ape
That's a dance, isn't it? You do the stinky ape.
Yeah, stanky leg.
I've never known if they were the same thing. I don't think they are though.
They're not.
A skunk
They're
ape.
similar.
What, the skunk ape? The skunk ape is the same as Bigfoot, but I think it just resides in swamps, hence the name skunk ape.
Yeah.
Is he just as big and all that?
Yeah, I think he's just as big. I mean, he's just a hairy ape thing, but he's covered in grime and moss and mold because he's been in a swamp. So
I've seen them kind of like differentiate us a little bit, like they're smaller and they live in Florida or so on. But basically, yeah, they're the same thing.
He's a stinky foot.
Yeah.
Foot. Yep. He's been walking in swamp water, still water.
It was like L.A. back in high school.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, that's
oh my God.
That's L.A. Currently, I think.
I don't know.
I don't think that ever changed, did it? I mean,
well, I don't know. I think he claims that it changed, but I mean, I've not been around him with his shoes off. And
speculation dictates that it may have changed. You be the judge.
I remember one time everyone was complaining, and he said, "But my feet are under the table," like that was going to help.
That was that. Yeah, I remember that.
It's like, dude, how's that going to help?
Oh my God.
He just has some stinky ass feet, though. So anyway, the Alabama White Thing is what it's called in Alabama. What's funny about Alabama is I always kept hearing Alabama barbecue sauce for a long time, and good night, Jeremy. So thanks for popping on your lunch break.
Dude.
But the Alabama White Thing. So the thing about Alabama is they always want to make everything exclusively Alabama. It's just I think they just have to do it. And whenever I went there, I kept hearing Alabama barbecue sauce. I need Alabama barbecue sauce. Bring me that Alabama barbecue sauce. Y'all ain't got Alabama barbecue sauce. And I said, well, what the fuck is Alabama barbecue sauce? And Alabama barbecue sauce is literally just yum sauce that you would get from an Asian restaurant.
Oh my God.
They literally pile that shit on everything. It doesn't matter if you go to a pizza place. It doesn't matter if you go to like an actual barbecue house. You got to have yum sauce, but they call it Alabama barbecue. You don't call it yum sauce.
It's kind of like how they call it shrimp sauce here.
Well, yeah, but I can almost
It's
understand.
the same thing, though, right?
Yeah.
I've had it on shrimp though. It's okay.
I know.
I love it on shrimp. I love it on shrimp. I would love it on Asian food, but I wouldn't put it all over everything.
Well, I mean, I'd try it, I guess, now that we're talking about it.
Try anything once.
That's right.
Would you dip a roll in it, John?
Probably. Depends on the roll, really.
Yeah, What about Hawaiian roll?
That'd probably be good.
I think so too. I'm gonna try it tomorrow.
See, I think a Hawaiian roll in that would be way too sweet.
No.
I think they're two different kinds of sweet.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
Like savory sweet and then sweet sweet.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, the legend of the Alabama white thing has been prevalent since the 1940s in the triangle between Morgan, Etowah, and Jefferson counties, where people have reported seeing a creature more than 7 feet tall, covered in white hair. So it's kind of like, I guess, because isn't the skunk ape sort of like, isn't that one's white too, though? It's just green from all the mold.
I don't know.
It's the blue cheese ape.
Ooh.
the blue waffle ape.
Ooh.
Oh man, what?
The creature is known for its ability to move extremely quickly despite its size and for its eerie screech that sounds like a woman's scream. Some have described the scream as sounding like that of a panther, so it's probably a bobcat or a wampus cat. Many have speculated that the white thing is an albino Bigfoot or perhaps a large albino bear. Peter J. Gossett writes on his website of Winston County History, freestateofwinston.org, that his aunt, Fanita Martin Smith, knew people who reported the white thing. In Huntsville, the phrase Alabama white thing is used to describe a humanoid, possibly alien figure spotted in caves or drainage ditches in Jones Valley, along Governor's Drive and on Montesano Mountain. The creature is described as having no eyes or ears and being completely white. A team of researchers of the white thing started a Facebook page called the Alabama White Thing. Well, let's just pull that up. There it is. There's 8.5 thousand members for that. What do you got?
Well, I mean, that means it's real.
Yeah. Mikey, you just put something in there too. Hold on. Let's bring up...
That wasn't me.
I put something in the chat. It's skunk ape footage.
Okay.
Ooh, spooky forest.
Spooky forest. All right. It's always a blurry video, you know?
Well, I mean, it was from 2000. They didn't have really good...
Ah, man, you saw our videos back then. We were good.
That was high quality.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Watch it look like total shit now. Yeah, I am... okay, there it is. Well, he's not white, though.
Look again.
I think they cut the video and it's like, damn, I'm really tired of doing this. It's hot out here.
I got mosquitoes at my ass.
It's hot out here with this shit on.
I got fever blisters. 2 minutes.
It sure wasn't worried about being seen, was it?
No, he was just probably minding his own business, walking through the swamp, probably getting bitten by alligators.
No. Is there more sound? Oh, here's the close parts. That's why it's...
Look how he's walking.
That's just the way that it looks like they walk, you know?
Just sweating, oh, this is a good day today.
I like how it's just walked in a big circle around this person filming it.
It's great being a North American gorilla.
I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't care about anything either.
Local.
I don't know.
What'd you say? See here. Let's look at the Facebook group. The most recent post in November 24th. Grew up in Lacey Spring off River Loop. Can remember hearing about the white thing my entire childhood growing up. Never did see it. Somebody got me on Twitch.
I hear an echo.
Yeah. All right. Never did see it, but heard first thing of people that did. My dad still lives out there. Oh, well, why the hell did you post anything at all?
Because you want to be part of the conversation.
Damn it. Quit sticking up for people.
I agree.
Just explaining their behavior, not saying it's valid or logical.
Seems pretty logical. Danny Barnwell, I saw him in 1970 on Jacksonville Mountain. Yeah, that seems concrete. Saw it one night last summer going off the mountain in the Sand Valley. Let's see here.
Oh, I saw it. I saw it when I was going to Dirtland.
I lived in Etowah County in 1940 near that girl must be old. In 1940, an old mine, me and a friend heard the scrams at night.
Scrams.
Sounded like a woman screaming.
Ooh.
Yeah, that guy's logical right there. Bobcats will make your skin crawl. Sounds like a woman screaming. Now, if you want to hear something that will make you stop, a cougar sounds like a woman calling for help. Imagine you are out in the woods at 1 a.m. and hear help coming from deep in the woods.
Apparently, that's what skinwalkers do, too.
I like how Steve B said it could have actually been a woman screaming.
Where?
It was the comment underneath the one you read.
Yeah. Steve Beasley, Roll Tide.
Could have actually been a woman.
Any sightings near Huntsville area? Mo Gonzalez. Guntersville State Park. Well, that's not quite near Huntsville. I can believe something out in Guntersville, though. It's definitely like a very forested lake area. It's a beautiful area, though. Yeah, good coffee in Guntersville for sure. Let's see. I like the anonymous ones because then you know these guys are probably telling the truth. They don't want to be.
That's real.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I experienced the Alabama white thing once. It was hella quick. I guess I was about 52 years old, driving my Harley through undeveloped.
Well, hold on.
Driving my Harley through undeveloped land next to the Dairy Queen in North Alabama.
Because there's only one.
Think about it. If you were gonna lie, would you say all that?
I wouldn't. That's the reason I'm saying I believe this dude right here.
All right, you keep going, and I'll dispute it in a moment.
Over by the Crossroads Cemetery, I had just got on the path with my bike, and I know this land like it's mine. The area I was in was heavy with gas and trees, and you would need a bobcat machine to get through it. I went off trail. About 55 minutes later, I saw it. I was traveling. I just pictured fucking White Thing walking out with like his blizzard in front of him. He was like, man, I just get that in peace. I was traveling at quite the clip, and it kind of ambled out in front of me. I tried to touch it, but it screamed a shrill note I've not heard before, and then ran back at a brisk pace over the embankment towards the Dairy Queen.
I guarantee you in its language it said, hell yeah, brother.
About the time I called over to the Dairy Queen on my phone.
No. Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Keep going.
So he called Dairy Queen? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, he called Dairy Queen on my phone and said, you better tell Byron to lock up and go home.
Oh, my gosh. About that time, I called over to the Dairy Queen on my phone, and you said you better tell Byron to lock up and go home. The next morning, we went in there, and there was sticky chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh, God. The next morning, we went in there, and there was sticky chocolate ice cream everywhere, and the cups and napkins were strewn around. Oh, the place only had motion sensors. Last year, I went back, and the Dairy Queen is abandoned. And it just looks like a dilapidated shack near the country road cutoff. I like how the first Danny Barnwell. Heflin?
Now, all right, listen.
Oh my God!
All right, this is literally like a 10-year-old kid making this shit up. Okay,
No,
No,
That's
Yeah.
believable.
no.
You guys want? No, hold on. Listen.
This is an old dude.
No. He says he guesses he was about 52 years old. So how long does it have to be before you don't know how many years it's been? It's
Me?
got to be at least 12.
I don't even know how old I am.
Oh yeah, I don't all the time saying I don't remember if I was 20 or 25 when something happened.
All right,
Yeah.
so it's been at least
I'm not
7
saying
years.
this is real, but I'm saying that I believe that the dude was probably some old dude thinking that he probably just saw some homeless motherfucker and he ran to.
I believe he believes it.
Yeah.
All right, when is the last time you ever heard anybody over 60 say "hella quick"?
Hell yeah, brother.
I have never heard any old person say
Oh
that.
yeah, any old person on Facebook trying to fit in. I guarantee it. My mom has said some.
Doug's mom.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's just a whole lot of.
I've heard my mom say no cap.
Oh,
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying anything. I'm not saying anything.
I mean, this
About that.
story could be cap. I don't know. I'm not saying
No,
it's real.
I believe he believes it.
But man, if it's not one of the funniest fucking things I've ever read,
it's hilarious. It's hilarious, but
yeah,
if you're gonna
Christy
be
says in the chat,
that specific, if you're gonna be like 55 minutes later, come on and say 52. Say 56 and a half. Don't say 55.
Christy
Don't round
says,
up.
I forget how old I am half the time, and that's actually true.
Well,
She actually
yeah.
does. So.
Well, yeah.
I do. I don't know how old I am right now. I really don't. I swear to God.
You're 36.
Also, why did dude capitalize Dairy Queen the two last times he said it, not the first 2 times?
Because he's
He
from
had more
Alabama.
respect. He had more respect on that
Why?
Dairy Queen.
Well, that's when he started to take it seriously because that was when the skunk ape thing went over there. The white
that's
thing.
Can we vote to boot him off the show?
The
Dicky
first time,
chocolate ice
the
cream.
first time I went to Lafayette, Georgia, I went there and I was from Kingsport, Tennessee, and so whenever I went there, I said, "Man, I have been wanting to." Yeah, Christy's right. Don't try to make sense of Alabama. The first time I went to Lafayette, Georgia, I called it Lafayette. Man, they ripped me to pieces. It was Lafayette. I had no idea where the hell anything was in this small town. And I said, "Is there anywhere good to eat?" And they said, "Oh, yeah, man, we got really good places. They just opened up a brand new Dairy Queen." They put some fucking respect on Dairy Queen there.
Well, just half the time.
Alabama barbecue. I'm just, I just think it's funny that the white thing is a chocolate ice cream guy. It was probably all matted in his white fur too.
He was. He was mad at it.
Speaking of Dumb and Dumber, I kind of remember the part in it where Bob Saget walks in, and I think Lloyd had gotten like chocolate all over himself, and he kept trying to like clean himself off, and instead he just kept rubbing it all over the walls. And Bob Saget walks in, he goes, "You shit everywhere."
Yeah.
There's shit on my walls. There's shit on my mirror. It's a great movie.
Maybe the Alabama white thing was tired of not being respected itself, and it wanted to try to be like Bigfoot, and so it wanted to try to be chocolate colored.
You see, I would believe Joan the least of saying 1940.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's got to be.
That's a long time. She must.
She was hanging out. She was hanging out with a friend, and she can remember.
Yeah. Let's see here. Looking for people who would be interested in giving a short 5-minute interview about. Oh man. Yeah. I'll have to call in. Give mine.
Deadline was October.
Okay, hold on. We got another anonymous participant.
I want to start doing this.
Yeah. I have absolutely had an encounter with the Alabama white thing, and let me tell you, it's freaking fast. I was about 15 years old, riding my bike through the woods right next to my house in Morgan County, Alabama. I had just got on the trails with my bike, and I'm very familiar with the trails and woods around me. The area I was in was very heavily wooded, and you really can't walk into it without a machete. You have to stay on the trail. I hadn't been riding not even 5 minutes, and then I saw it. I was going pretty fast on my bike, and out of nowhere, it ran straight in front of me from left to right, and I would have reached my hand out. I could have touched it. Why do they want to touch it? Well, I'm not gonna make it.
If they'd reached out.
Yeah, but I mean, like the Dairy Queen guy. I bet he saw that fucking chocolate blizzard, and he was like, I gotta have that. But it was so freaking fast. I've never seen something so fast in my life. Right then, I slammed on my brakes and stopped. My heart was beating extremely fast. I barely got a glimpse of it. It was so fast, but what I saw about it was 6 feet or 6 foot. It looked hunched over it, so it could have been taller. It was as white as snow, and I did not see any facial features. Kind of skinny with long arms and legs. It did look somewhat humanoid, but it definitely wasn't. After the encounter, I got the crap out of those woods and didn't go back for a while. I've never spoke about this until now. If anyone has seen a similar white thing as what I just described, please comment. This is where I actually don't believe this one as much. Because
I believe
don't sound believable
I
to
believe
me.
this one.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. I believe this one.
I don't believe it.
I really don't. I believe that it's a little too elaborate and too detailed. And I think the fact that you throw in a bunch of ice cream and Dairy Queen, I believe that motherfucker way more. But and the ending line is the reason I say this is a very true story. I don't know.
Yeah, I know 100% it's out there.
Hey, I know a way to test it. Why don't you go find out if that Dairy Queen's still there or not?
No, it's already abandoned. He already told it.
Well, I wonder where that Dairy Queen. What did he say? North Alabama, all over by the old Crossroads Cemetery. Let me check real quick.
I want to see the Dairy Queen.
Crossroads Cemetery, Dairy Queen. I mean, that's how Google works.
Oh, I love Google. Dairy Queen locations in Alabama. I never thought. Let's see here. Alabama white thing. Well, it actually popped up on Alabama. Let's see here.
Well, yeah, we just read about it.
I'm
I'm
aware of that. I'm just saying, though, it just popped up in the algorithm of me.
I just want to know where the Crossroads Cemetery is.
Let's see here. Crossroads Cemetery. Let's see here. Crossroads Cemetery direction.
If I could animate anything, I would animate that story. Could you imagine how good that'd be?
Funniest things I've
This
ever.
is Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it sure does. Let's see here. Crossroads Cemetery, Alabama. Well, there's a few.
There it is. It said Heflin. I just saw it.
Oh yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see here. Well, it's a little bit down there. Let's see here. Christy, you have a mission while you're on the road. It really is in the bumfuck area, though. I mean, that's nothing but
Vine and Branches Pharmacy.
Nothing but Harleys and Dairy Queens, huh?
they got Cards for Cheaper, which is temporarily closed.
Well, at least temporarily.
Right.
So you look and see if there was a Dairy Queen in Heflin. That's your best bet.
Yeah.
See if there was one there. There might have been.
Dairy Queen Heflin. Well, that's all the way over there. It's 28.
They said it was abandoned.
Miles. 22
They said it was abandoned, so.
Big time entertainment.
Choco Loco.
I bet you anything he's there.
That was where the Dairy. They have a crumble cookie.
They do have a crumble cookies.
Choco Loco Park.
So they got a Sam's Club. So that must be a little bit more of a. That's not too rural. Let's see here. Where was it?
But it's 28 minutes away.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm trying to zoom in. There's nothing out there though, so it does look like mountains.
Click on the layers. Let's see the topographical.
Where do you?
Like
Where
down bottom left corner of the screen.
Right here.
This is layers.
Oh, okay, I see.
Should be able to click on it. There you go. That shows you what it looked like.
I bet that's,
Oh,
that's the Dairy Queen right there. Not the church.
it used to be a Dairy Queen.
Let's see here. I don't see a Dairy Queen so far.
I don't even see a place it could have. I mean, it could have been. It could have been around there somewhere that it's just been torn down. There's no telling. It could be true.
I believe.
I want to believe.
It's a pretty wild. I usually believe the crazier it is. All right, so let's see here. So the Alabama White Thing. You may see that on your journeys through Alabama.
Dowry booger.
Where did we see that at?
Downy booger.
Downy Burger.
There's not a title for it or a header. It's like the bold title header is gone.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah, that was actually in my book. A series of sightings of the
Doug and Molly too.
Yeah, the Downy booger, a half human, half animal, were reported in the late 1800s, according to Joyce Ferris, whose husband is a descendant of the Downies of Winston County. The tale is part of a family lore. Another descendant, Vera Whitehead, recorded the history, which Ferris published on a website of Winston. Let's see here, Winston County history. All right. So in the later part of the 1800s, Winston County, Alabama, was known for its rugged men, still brewed. Oh, calm down, Michael. Still brewed whiskey, hard shell preachers, and Saturday night dances. It was also known for the Downey Booger. John and Joe Downey were cousins. They were together constantly, like two peas in a pod. They were returning home from one of these dances when they first saw the booger. There were. Just somebody flicked it on the wall.
Not even Downey would wash it out.
There were only two houses on this long stretch of road they traveled. One was the Hub Bond place with the lightning rods. The other was a rambling log house belonging to Oscar Tittle, where the dances had been held. The remainder of the road was enveloped by a dense pine forest. John and Joe were jostling along on their thoroughbreds, gaily recounting the events of the evening, when suddenly a strange-looking creature bearing both the resemblance of a human and an animal leaped out in front of them. Their horses must have spotted it at the same time, or the same instant the boys did, for they stood on their hind feet, snorting madly, almost throwing them from their saddles, then whirled around and took off into a wild stampede in the opposite direction, using every ounce of strength that they could muster. They managed to break them to a halt. They turned around and then started towards home. As they approached the sand bed where this weird creature had appeared, the horses came to an abrupt stop. I'm sorry, I keep thinking of that fucking Bigfoot story.
It creeps into your mind, doesn't it?
It does. Oh, gosh.
I swear, I want to animate the part where he's just riding on that cycle, and they lock eyes, and he's like, "Hell yeah, bro!"
I was actually thinking, I was like, man, nothing's gonna beat that fucking story now.
I know. We should
Both of their hairs just flowing in the wind.
Oh man, they they would pass through Lynn on a small town 7 miles from their home, known as the Byler Road. The sun had risen with the
Oh hell, better get back to the Dairy Queen.
old white thing pops out and flicks his booger. Oh my gosh. All right. Have y'all ever heard of Dogman?
I have not heard of Dogman, no.
Okay. So Dogman, it's kind of reminded me of that. Let's see here. The manager of the commissary would sell it secretly to the miners for a huge profit. When he sensed he was being followed, went to his right shoulder, he saw a peculiar-looking creature waltzing on 2 feet behind his wagon. He froze. His first impulse was to try to outrun it. He decides against that because his mules, Pet and Hattie, were not accustomed to running except downhill. This was level ground. He remembered his gun on the wagon seat behind him, took the revolver, aimed, and fired twice. It screamed like a woman in distress and went limping away. There's kind of a common thing going through here. The news spread quickly. Jim Jackson had shot the Downy Booger. A posse was formed. They combed the forest, only finding traces of blood leading from the sandbed to a distant cliff. Until this day, the incident is repeated among the residents of Winston County. What the Downy Booger will forever be a mystery. Oh, goodness gracious. So,
it's a dangerous booger.
That is a dangerous. That's a wily little booger right there. So Dogman is actually gaining more and more relevance and steam these days, and you hear more and more about it. Dogman to people, it's weird on, like, there's been actual, like, from what I can tell, you know, and take this with a grain of salt, but there's a lot of, like, supposedly, you know, credible sources that have come forth about Dogman. And it's essentially just, you know, almost like a lichen type of creature, but it's like an emaciated dog with a human body that runs on its hind legs, and apparently it's one of the most terrifying things you'll ever see. I can say I think that they've seen a lot of sightings in the land between lakes in Kentucky too. Y'all heard of the land between lakes?
No.
I've heard of it, but I don't remember what it is. I've heard of it though.
Yeah, so I mean, there's quite a bit of lore to it, but Dogman has been one a little more recent though, and it's gaining a lot of steam. But and they basically say if you ever see it, just, you know, run for your life or kill it. It was described as a 7-foot-tall, blue-eyed or amber-eyed, bipedal, canine-like creature with the torso of a man and a fearsome howl that sounds like a human scream, which kind of sounds like the Downy Booger. According to legends, the Michigan Dogman appears in a 10-year cycle that falls on years ending in 7. Let's see here. The Dogman is one of the most popular cryptids. One of the most popular cryptids today, and I can't blame people for liking it. Personally, the Beast of Bray Road is my favorite. Why a cryptid is deciding to hang around on a random road, I don't understand, but I find it extremely funny. See? But there is a good reason why a lot of people have their doubts about the creature. It's possibly our best example of a cryptid that was invented. If you look in cryptozoology books prior to the late 1980s, you won't see any references to the Dogman. That's because there really weren't any. The origin of the Dogman as a legend really traces back to 1987 when a radio DJ named Steve Cook aired a song he created called The Legend. The song was actually an April Fool's Day hoax. Steve had completely made the stories contained in the song up. However, after he premiered the song, he began to receive reports from listeners claiming that they too had seen the creature. That's where the legend of the Dogman began. And today we receive hundreds of reports of the creature, so the Dogman really sprang up after a hoax song. Not because of a history of genuine sightings. Even a cryptid like Bigfoot, one that many people are skeptical about, have a much greater history to their sightings. Let's see here. Let's see here. You claim werewolves and don't count. I'm not even sure. Cynocephaly? Cynocephaly? Werewolves and cynocephaly don't count because they are from different places of the world, yet we all know dragons, mermaids, and even Sasquatch-type creatures have been reported all over the world from cultures who had no contact with each other. A different name for a similar creature doesn't discredit the creature. There are Native American man-like dog legends. The name dogmen is new. Before, they were usually referred to as werewolves. Sightings back then would have been easy to cover up without the internet. There is a lot of incentive of government to cover up the existence of such a creature. Imagine the panic that would ensue if they were confirmed real. People who may have seen dogmen probably didn't want to come forward for fear of ridicule. No cryptid has really been taken seriously, let alone a real life werewolf. Let's see.
By the way, cynocephaly is having a dog's head and a human body.
Sounds terrifying. Sounds like a furry.
Yeah, I mean that was in The Shining. I mean,
furries are definitely real. You know, so it's probably like some.
Oh yeah,
some furry running through the woods trying to find something to yiff. And the
my God, you do that.
What'd you say?
You know they do that.
Oh yeah, you know they're howling at the moon, or like, you know. Let's see here. The land between
my thighs. Oh,
that's called your scrotum.
I thought it was the taint. It taint this and it taint that.
Grundle.
Grundle.
Didn't Beowulf beat him?
Grendel.
No, that's who Dumbledore beat.
Oh yeah, Dumbledore.
Grindelwald.
We go to the Cryptid Wiki.
Cryptid Wiki.
So, anyways, let's talk a little about what is the land between lakes. Don't want to watch a movie. So, the land between lakes. Land between lakes is a national recreation area, 170,000 acre outdoorsman paradise between Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley in western Kentucky and Tennessee. This natural playground not only features vast forests, open lands, and streams, but it also features a lot of paranormal. So,
Someone say paranormal.
Yes. So a lot of people, they go out there and they investigate and they supposedly catch a lot of things. I don't really buy into a lot of it, but let's see here. Let's see, ghost stories and the paranormal of LBL.
Hey, we haven't established that. So, okay, ghosts and all this, whatever. But cryptids, what would be the bare minimum evidence for it being, okay, you really submitted solid evidence? Would you need, like, some sort of DNA, or would footage ever be acceptable, or...
I mean, I think that you would need concrete evidence. You know, cryptozoology, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people that kind of take that and run with it, but cryptozoology is the study of, it's basically zoology of anything that we cannot understand, can't grasp, or don't know, and hasn't been proven. So, I mean, if we were to establish Bigfoot as a living, breathing, true character, or a true creature, then it would stop being a cryptid and it would become a species, and it would no longer be a cryptid anymore.
Right. I'm just saying he is a cryptid now. So what will we to take him into?
We would need. I think at this point with something like Bigfoot, we'd need a body.
Yeah.
You need, okay.
You
so
need
footprint, anything like that.
Concrete,
all that stuff can be fabricated easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. What about hair?
I mean,
you could test hair to see if it truly is
Yeah.
something not belonging to something.
yeah, you could,
You know, I think a
depending
lot
on
of-
the results.
Yeah, a lot of things that they find, I mean, it's usually belonging to a bear, or it's a synthetic or fabricated and not real.
What if you let Bigfoot bite you and you could test the bite mark?
Then you would become aware Bigfoot.
Oh man, a werefoot.
Aware foot.
Man, I'll tell you what, I've driven around the land between lakes, looking
Oh,
at the
have you?
map. Yeah, yeah, because when I went to visit Kansas to visit the Cormiers, I remember going up 24. 24 wraps right around it. We had to go through Cairo, Illinois.
I've been through 24, so I've probably been around that area.
Hey, it's not far from Nashville, Doug.
No, I mean, I'd actually planned on visiting there a few times. I tell Chrissy that she needs to go and check it out. But yeah, if you zoom out, it literally is between, you know. So, you know, it's
really
so funny,
cool.
though, because I've actually listened to, like, podcasts of people, like, talking about it. And some of
Yeah.
those guys were like, it takes so long to get on, and then you're in this desolate wildland, and it's, like, not really, like, whenever you look at it, it's not completely cut off from the world. And,
I mean, you've got highways that drive through
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like-
So, I mean, I definitely want to go and check it out and explore.
Oh
it
yeah,
and
I'm sure
everything.
that there's some really
Good footage and everything.
hairy places, so to
Yeah.
speak.
You know, that's
Tell
gonna
her-
be. I'm gonna go out there with you guys, and Michael's gonna just be laughing his ass off. I'm gonna get bit by a fucking Bigfoot, and
You know, I'll be laughing.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, turn into a werefoot.
I'll tell you what. I've zoomed in just here where the Kentucky border and the Kentucky Tennessee borders at the top. I'm looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I see 10 cemeteries
I do see
within.
that. Yeah,
Just like there's tons of cemeteries in this place,
yeah.
Well.
so no wonder it has a
Strong
a
paranormal.
haunted type of vibe, or weird, spooky, paranormal thing.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
Like, all throughout, from top to bottom. There's a Bethlehem cemetery.
The Devil's Elbow.
Oh man.
Man, you
Yeah.
know that's crusty.
Catholic Cemetery, Dixon
Yeah,
Cemetery, Ringler's Camp. Yeah, there's quite a bit.
that's wild.
I
mean-
oh shit, a Dairy Queen.
No,
No, it's more
No.
cemeteries. There are a fuck ton of cemeteries.
that's wild.
That is really weird.
I mean, I was just looking. I was like, there ain't no way. And then you zoom in more, and then more show up, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, we definitely need to get out there.
Yeah, and it's Lake, the Kentucky Lake, and
Yeah,
well, it says Cumberland River. Where's the?
let's see here.
I guess it's Lake Barkley is part of it. The Cumberland River. That's the Cumberland River is most of it, but I guess it becomes the Lake Barkley.
Yeah, between Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley, in western Kentucky and Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
So let's see here.
that's wild.
Trying to see if there's anything. And continue the story. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the Land Between Lakes Paranormal Reddit. Let's see here. Let's see here. So, what happened to us between the land between the land between the lakes? Bit of a long one, and we'll probably post this in another subreddit. So to start, I've had some weird stuff happen to me multiple times in my life. I try to find a rational explanation, but sometimes there isn't one. Go back around the week of the 4th of July, and this was 4 months ago. My girlfriend, her 3 kids, my son, getting some feedback, and myself took a week-long vacation to Land Between Lakes at Prizer Point Campground. I knew nothing of the paranormal stuff that's happened there until after I came back and told my boss what had happened. On July 4th, and y'all hear that?
No,
Do you have me on? Yeah, my volume up on.
no.
Mikey, are you Twitch streaming? Are you streaming on Twitch?
Oh, you're muted on the Twitch stream on my computer.
Okay. Let's see here. My girlfriend's two boys and my son were fishing off the shore, and then the campground and the lake are packed. It's July 4th, so lots of noise. We're down on the shore with the boys watching them fish. There's music playing somewhere along the left side of us into the little cove. My girlfriend asked if I heard someone yell. I did not, but the three boys did. I said I can hear the music, so maybe it's just those campers screwing around. She said no, someone was yelling for help. I started really listening, and I heard it, and so did they. We could hear clear as day, hear a man yelling, "Help me, someone please help me." Our first thought is someone fell off a boat. I noticed big cargo like it was coming from somewhere far ahead of us, but we couldn't see any splashing or anyone hanging onto a buoy or anything. I didn't have binoculars, but I had used my phone camera to zoom in just to see anything. There was nothing, but the calls for help kept happening. I told her to call 911 because I had no idea what else to do, and my adrenaline was up because I thought I was hearing someone in a life or death situation. She even called the campground, but they kind of shrugged it off. She went into the cabin to call and took the boys. So I stayed on the shore, still looking and listening. It took about 30 minutes for the sheriff to show up, and by then, the last time I heard the yell for help was about 10 minutes before the sheriff arrived. We told them what was going on and that all five of us had heard it. The sheriff told us there was a road that kind of went around the lake and houses, and we would check it out, and he would check it out. Another 20 minutes go by, and he finally came back and told us there's an ATV trail around the area, and that some teens were on it with their parents' golf carts screaming and whatnot, just being teens, and with that he left. Here's my problem with this. The yells for help were not a bunch of teens. It sounded distinctly like a man, and it was constantly the same voice, and we seemed to be the only ones who heard it. After all of this, and when we got home, I kept looking for any accidents or drownings that have been reported since we were left there. There's been nothing. I don't know if it was paranormal, but I can't find a way to explain it at all. I'm curious if anyone else here has been to this area and had strange things like this happen. Sorry for the long post, but I've been meaning to write it out for a while and get some feedback from other people. Thoughts? This picture I added are just from some views from our camera, or from our cabin. Let's see here. There's two.
How many times did he say he heard it? Like, did he say or just a couple of times, or
I think he just says he heard it repeatedly.
Right, a few more times.
Yeah, that almost makes me think of like a skinwalker.
Right.
So,
I wonder what we would do if we were out there drunk, roaming around, filming. You think we'd yell
probably
help?
stumble in one of those cemeteries and let's see here. I know what you experienced. You described it well. You did all the right things, even doing some research on deaths and drownings in the area, but we're left again with once again left with no answer. All of you experienced, and deep down the sheriff knows what you heard wasn't the teens. He felt compelled to provide you with a possible source of the voice. It'd be interesting to know whether your call to his department from in and around your location was the first ever received, or one of many. You said your girlfriend called using 911, reporting a cry for help, yet it took the sheriff a half an hour to respond. Alone, no ambulance, rescue teams. I can kind of believe that, though.
Right.
Because, do some additional research and see if anyone, not just the sheriff connected with this department, is aware of similar reports being called to yours prior.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting place for sure. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Let's see here. Sometimes you can find some weird things in there. You can kind of. Oh, Griff Calhoun Cemetery. Can anyone tell me how to find the Griff Calhoun Cemetery? A lot of my ancestors are buried there. Check that out. Sometimes if you go to like the non-paranormal pages, you can find paranormal.
right.
Hotel California and Vampire Hotel Marlar Home. Where did the Hotel California moniker come from? Huh. I think it became popular when the Vampire Vault murders rose the what? Rose the popularity. I'm not sure though. Huh.
Vampire Vault.
Vault murders. Maybe he meant cult. Cult murders land between lakes. Vampire Hotel and Land Between the Lakes. No vampire murder. There's some contradictions here. Let's see here. Vampire Hotel and Land Between. All right. Vampire Hotel is an abandoned structure near Kentucky Lake in the land between the lakes. The stone and concrete structure were partially torn down in the 1960s, with the creation of the land between the lakes, but part of it remained. It was one of just a handful of remaining structures in LBL, not completely removed. Throughout the 1990s, it had become a popular hangout spot with the locals, some of who were less than reputable. The structure itself was a single-story home that belonged to Dorothy B. Keith. The stone and frame home was built sometime after the creation of the Kentucky Lake and was used as a vacation home. The home was fairly luxurious for its time. It featured a walkout basement into a stone arch-shaped patio. In the middle of the patio was a cistern, which is still visible today. Bathrooms and staircases flanked the building, going to the first level, which contained a large chimney. Chimney. The chimney also went down into the basement and had fireplaces on each side. Inside the basement was a large room with several large windows. The walkout basement. Oh, there's a little map. Let's see here. Copy image. We'll put that in the general chat. All right. In case we ever want to go out there. Other features of the property include a sandbox to the north of the home, which is completely intact today.
Yeah, that's a half bath right there.
Yeah. Despite numerous rumors and websites with inaccurate information, nothing substantial has ever occurred at the site. Some of the rumors include animal sacrifices or blood-drinking rituals, but no evidence was ever found. No vampires, murders, or anything of that nature ever happened at the site. With Vampire Hotel spray painting across the front of the building, the site received national media attention in late 1996 into 1997. After an infamous incident that did not occur at the site, we're not going into the details of the incident. Hold on. It did not occur at the site. Okay. We're not going into the details of the incident, but the site clearly had nothing to do with it despite rumors. The certain individuals involved in the incident would hang out up there, but that was the extent of it. That's suspicious.
It is, isn't it?
It is. Huh. I'll link this into... Once we get some people in our Discord, they can look through this.
It seems like they've torn it down since.
Yeah. I just wonder. It's a creepy little image. Kitty cat.
Meow.
Meow.
Looks like there's candles and stuff in there. That's cool.
Is there?
It looked like it.
Yeah,
it looked like they were like in the cat mouth. Like maybe there's a couple of.
Let's see here. Rod Farrell, leader of the deadly Kentucky vampire clan. Rod Farrell was a 16-year-old boy from Murray, Kentucky, whose delusions led him to lead a ritualistic cult and brutally murder a 14-year-old member's parents in their home. I've heard of this, actually.
Mm.
If it's the one that I'm thinking of, yeah. He was the youngest person to be put on death row until his sentence was reduced to life in prison with no parole. Roderick did not have an easy life growing up. He was born to his then 16-year-old mom, Sandra Gibson, on March 28th, 1980, in Murray. His father abandoned him to serve in the military and was never a part of his life. His maternal grandfather allegedly sexually abused him when he was around 5 years old, according to the federal court records. However, no criminal charges were ever pursued. Let's see here. Sandra introduced Rod to vampires and the macabre from a young age. They bonded over Dracula films and Vampire the Masquerade comic books. Sandra was far from the ideal mother and had a questionable and complex relationship with her son. As Rod himself described, at the age of 34, she was even caught writing disturbing love letters to a 14-year-old boy. Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, Lord.
We won't read that. The rest of the Vampire Clan's members came from equally depressing and disturbing situations, the most notable members being Scott Anderson, Rod's right-hand man, Chastity Kesey, his then 16-year-old girlfriend Dana Cooper, a friend along for the ride, and Heather Wendorf, Rod's damsel in distress and victim. All of them took comfort in being able to belong to a group of outsiders of like-minded individuals while growing up in a place that is generally unaccepting of anything non-traditional. The gang's meetup spot was called Vampire Hotel, which was a dilapidated structure in the middle of the woods near Kentucky Lake and the land between the lakes. It was here that the Klan threw parties, used psychedelic drugs, and took part in various types of rituals. Hearing stories from Heather about suffering abuse at the hands of her father struck a chord. Yeah, I know what this is because he actually killed the girl's father. The final straw for Roderick was when Heather's parents finally cut her off from the phone. It was when he rallied his group to go on the fateful rescue mission to save Heather from her parents and run away from New Orleans to start their very own vampire family and live happily ever after. Unfortunately, things did not go according to plan. On November 25th, 1996, Rod and the gang made the 750-mile drive from Murray, Kentucky to Eustis, Florida after she had been picked up and their vehicle had broken down. Heather made a deal with Rod in which she would use her keys to unlock her home so that her family's vehicle could be stolen and the Klan could complete their trip to New Orleans. In exchange, Rod agreed to perform the turning ritual in which he would consume his blood and officially become a vampire forever. The ritual took place early that morning in a Eustis cemetery. Rod consumed a significant amount of LSD before Heather admitted to drinking Roderick's blood from a self-inflicted razor blade wound. The group departed to retrieve the car from Heather's house shortly after. Roderick and Scott enter the house through the garage to find Mr. Wendorf peacefully resting on the living room couch. After many moments of silence and deliberation, Mr. Wendorf awoke to his skull being violently smashed in by Roderick and a crowbar that Rod had brought in with him. Mr. Wendorf suffered more than 22 blows to the face. Hearing the commotion, Mrs. Wendorf entered the living room from the kitchen, horrified at the sight of her husband being beaten to death by intruders. In an attempt to interrupt the despicable act, she splashed scalding hot coffee into the face of Roderick, who retaliated with a crowbar blow to the face. The blow was so hard it severed her brainstem, killing her instantly.
Jeez.
Let's see here. Murder warrants. 2000, Roderick Farrell's death sentence was changed to life in prison after the Florida Supreme Court ruled defendants must be 17 years or older at the time charges are filed in order to be executed. To this day, Roderick remains at the Tomoka Correctional Institution, serving out his life sentence. It's truly terrifying what people are capable of. Would Roderick committed these terrible deeds had he not been subject to so much trauma and torment? Goodness gracious. So,
Pretty grim.
pretty grim, and also kind of related to the land between the lakes. So, and it's kind of a weird area, It's almost like I don't just a beacon for the bleak.
A bleakin.
A bleakin, a land between the lakes. Massacre at the land between the lakes by the beast of the LBL, and the resulting cover-up. Love your channel. Thought you might be interested in this one for Halloween just around the corner. I noticed the story was vaguely mentioned here some odd months ago. This is an allegedly true incident that is spoken about in the Dogman community. To give a brief summary, as these cryptids seem to get looked over a lot. Dogmen are allegedly a cryptozoological creature, much like Sasquatch, that live deep in the wilderness. Most eyewitnesses swear that they look a lot like werewolves and act much as the wolves did in your episode of them. So let's hear. Sum it all up, in the early to mid 80s, there was a family that went camping in the area of the land between the lakes, which saddles the border of Kentucky and Tennessee. The family went a little early to get ahead of the crowd and picked out a great camping spot. According to what's been said, they, for one reason or another, one theory suggests the father's cologne may have contained musk that may have potentially angered the creature. The only thing I can think of is Anchorman, whenever Paul Rudd puts on a Black Panther.
Real bits of panther.
Yeah. And he goes out there and the woman goes, "Ew, it smells like Sasquatch's dick." So he must have been wearing Black Panther. The mother was attacked next. Let's see here. Got a call. The Dogman was not happy to see them and immediately attacked and killed the father and got the son before he could reach the safety of the family's camper. The mother was attacked next, and officials allegedly said due to the aftermath, the state of her body, and just how torn up everything was. Oh, sorry. Yep, Christy's right. Sex Panther was the name of it. The mother was attacked next. They soon learned that there were little girl's clothing among the possessions, but couldn't immediately locate the body. After a search, they ended up finding the young girl's body partially consumed up in a tree. The story is admittedly hard to verify as fact. I will be honest about that. It's a very hearsay sort of tale, and allegedly one of the local law enforcement officials that was initially involved got pushed out of the investigation by another agency. One he couldn't identify, if my memory serves me correct, and never heard anything about it again. But supposedly, a group of soldiers was summoned from nearby Fort Campbell to go after the creature, which once again, allegedly they did put it down, and it was supposedly so big, it took nearly the whole group to load the body into one of their trucks. There's an article out there about it, one being at Phantoms and Monsters Best Limited. That's fairly detailed. It's going to be difficult to verify as much. There are also scattered YouTube videos about it. I believe one personality who goes the moniker Coonbo initially brought the story to YouTube. He supposedly is pretty knowledgeable about these creatures. Let's see here. Just heard the story on an episode of Dogman Encounters on YouTube. I just asked a 75-year-old woman who lives on Tennessee side if she's ever heard of this. She said no. She has lived in Dover all her life, and this is the first she's heard of anything, so I'm really skeptical. I will ask neighbors where I live in Dover if they ever heard anything about this. My neighbors are in their 70s and 80s, been here all their lives, and if true, someone will have heard something. How could they cover it up? If anything, it would be written up as a murder of 3 people.
4 people.
Well, that's what it says right there. The 3 people, but 4 people.
I know, right? They can't count.
But by people or a person, right? Is there any record of this happening? Officially, no. Yeah, this whole story is completely made up. So, I don't know, man. I'm still going for the Dairy Queen story. Seems the most credible.
I mean, it's definitely the best one we've heard.
It's definitely the best one. Yeah.
Not the spookiest or the craziest.
I really want it animated. Exactly how it reads.
How long is this?
Maybe we can,
1 hour and 30 minutes.
Maybe we can find the person that did salad fingers, and maybe they'd
Well, you know, I actually got a digital drawing pad on Black Friday. Maybe I'll sketch it out.
Please do.
Forwarded me by my colleague, Hunt the Dog Man. Let's see. Present as like without edits. Take it for what it's worth. Yeah, I'm not reading all that tonight. So it's weird that Dogman starts in Michigan, but he's in Kentucky, and there's a lot of sightings supposedly in the LBL. Let's see here. Well, I don't want to do that. No. Yep, and that's what he supposedly looks like. So, great drawing. Let's see here. Put that in the Discord too. Dogman.
What about Man Dog?
Man Dog. You know, we should make a legend called Man Dog.
That's right.
It's the head of a guy on a dog's body.
Oh my god, that'd be probably way freakier than seeing this.
That would be scary.
I swear.
He would just be bark. Bark. Woof.
Oh my.
Woof. This is Kevin. Oh man,
horrible.
But you know, it's funny that group of goth kids wanted to go to New Orleans, because there's so many speaking of haunted South and paranormal South and monsters of the South, monsters in New Orleans. New Orleans is jam-packed with lore, and that is one place I've always wanted to visit.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, like, in terms of, like, vampires. Like, they say, like, you know, if you're going to see a vampire, it would be nowhere else in the world other than maybe, like, New Orleans. You know, I think I know one story right off the bat, and this was actually documented, and you can actually listen to it on a great podcast called Southern Gothic, but it's actually about... They don't have any rhyme or reason for it, but it was a group of girls that would stay in the attic of a Catholic church, and whenever they came off the boats, they were from France. Well, they got off the boats looking very emaciated, and they had a group of men with them carrying these large, you know, wooden boxes, not unlike coffins, but sort of like coffins.
Right.
And they wouldn't come out unless it was nighttime, and they would just stay in the attic of this old Catholic church, and they don't know for sure if they were vampires, but that was a lot of, you know, the speculation behind it. But I tell you, New Orleans is just crazy with stuff, even as far as like, you know, a lot of it was like a lot of blend of European settlers and stuff too, you know, and obviously the French,
the
Grunch. That's the off-brand Grinch. Carnival Creatures. Tubby and Coo's Traveling Bookshop. It's an interesting picture.
It is.
The Loop Guru. The Honey Island Swamp Monster.
Yeah, I've heard about them.
Yeah.
It's like although that drawing is not what I read. It seemed to be another kind of Bigfoot monster. There seems to be an awful lot of Bigfoot-like monsters in the South.
But, you know, I guess, well, you know, and I guess that's everywhere, though, because if you think about it, you have the Yetis, you know, you have Sasquatch, you have Bigfoot, you know, Skunk Ape, you know, and they're kind of all over.
Abominable snowman.
The abominable snowman, you know, but
it's a Yeti.
Yeah, it's a Yeti, but it's...
what about Momo?
Momo.
A Missouri monster that looks like the Mothman meets Sasquatch.
Well, what do you think Sasquatch could be? Christy has a good one. Hairy hillbillies.
A person in a suit.
Person in a suit.
Yeah, I really like the movie Harry and the Hendersons, but I just don't.
Yeah.
At this point, when's the first? Do we know when the first so-called sighting of Bigfoot was?
Yeah.
When? How long's it been?
Well, the documented sighting is that one footage you've seen, that picture.
Right, but when was that?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying is like, how long's it been since the first?
50 years at least.
Or I would imagine that if he was that big then, where's the body?
In 2019, FBI releases Bigfoot documents from 1970s. Oh,
Yeah.
Here it is right here. FBI. It's actually on the FBI website. Bigfoot Part 1 of 1.
The FBI did get involved for some reason.
Yep.
Right.
They really
Well,
did.
I'm sure they did investigate it,
Dear
but
Mr. Byrne, that's the thing, though. I mean, we can't really put it past things to not be covered up. I'm not saying Bigfoot's real, but I would say...
no, I get that.
I would say that as much...
What if he was real at one point?
Well, I mean, and that's probably
That's
it,
true.
too.
That's likely.
But I mean, like, if we talk about, like, just the general consensus of, like, you talk about a creature in different cultures and different parts of the world all having the same vision, same, basically, outline of the same creature we're all seeing across the world, to me, that's whenever it starts becoming a little more concrete. I don't know if I believe in Bigfoot or if it was, like Michael said, real at one time, and pushed to extinction or covered up. I don't know. It's like the concept of, like, dragons to me. Like, dragons have been all over the world. They've been talked about. They were even deleted.
That's true.
I mean, they were even deleted from the Bible. And it's whenever
I think they were mistranslated. I think is more of a. But I get what you're saying.
Well, I mean, the Catholic Church changed a lot of that.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah.
But there is deleted text of Jesus actually, battling a dragon, and it's
What a badass.
it's yeah. I mean, it's there. I might pull it up here in just a minute.
I agree with you. I mean, it's likely. It is likely with all the animals that.
Well, and that's what I was going to say, though. I mean, I think like the idea of like a dragon, calling it like a fire-breathing dragon. I don't know about something like that, but the idea of giant lizards, prehistoric lizards, thunder lizards, dinosaurs. I don't. I don't think that's completely out of the realm of possibility. I think we just hunted those kind of things into extinction.
Yeah,
the last of them, and I'm not saying like we had T-Rexes and fighting in Braveheart, but it's but it's
How do you know?
Well, that's Mel Gibson.
You don't think the Pope would cover that up? Yeah, right.
I would love to see what's underneath the Catholic Church or like what they
would. Yeah, wouldn't you? Yeah.
I don't think I would love to see it at all.
Oh, I would.
I'd be intrigued, but I don't think I'd love it by the end of it.
No, I don't think anybody would.
Hey, let me put something into perspective. I just learned recently about like really remote creatures. Steve Irwin's son recently just found a species that his dad discovered 25 years ago, and it basically hadn't been seen since then.
Right?
Was it I think I know what you're talking about. Was it that he discovered it, or that he was able to hatch a very endangered species that his dad had discovered?
I saw that.
Yeah. Maybe I have it wrong, but I mean, the point is that I mean there could be really, really just remote things, And if there was like only a few of them, and some rednecks killed it, well,
yeah. Christy, what are you saying no about? Hop in that Discord if you want to talk.
No, Harry Hillbillies. No.
Harry Hillbillies. I don't know. Like, I can't completely. I mean, we can discredit all of it, but I just can't write it off.
Right. I get that. I mean, It's kind of funny. Sorry, I guess I'm kind of playing the skeptic this episode.
You are playing the skeptic big time this episode.
But I mean,
I believe that story. That's all I know.
I do believe that.
I don't believe that one.
John, I believe it 100%. That dude just carried out his mind.
It's hilarious, but I don't believe it.
Yes, he just released it into their controversy.
I think it was fabricated, but that doesn't mean I don't believe that kind of creature doesn't exist. I just think that person's not. I think that person's making most of it up.
Really? I don't.
Man, I've heard some crazy redneck stories that I believe.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Like,
Well, yeah.
them good old boys ain't gonna lie about nothing like that.
That's why I believe
He even said call
the
Byron and
last
tell him
one.
to shut that damn place.
Yeah, that was funny. That might have been. I do believe that he knew Byron that worked at the Dairy Queen.
Well, John,
I believe
who else?
that.
Who else broke in there and ate all that chocolate?
I don't know. It didn't look like they had very many places to party. So it looked like once the Dairy Queen shut down for the night, that's what they.
I'm going to go ahead and load this FBI. So this right here is from the FBI website with a PDF of the file. Again, the FBI is only going to tell us what we want to know, or what we need to know. I have received your letter of November 24th requesting an FBI laboratory analysis of 15 unidentified hairs and tissue. The FBI laboratory conducts examinations primarily of physical evidence for law enforcement agencies in connection with criminal investigations. Occasionally, on a case-by-case basis in the interest of research and scientific inquiry, we made exceptions to this general policy. See, that's kind of suspicious to me.
Someone was worried about damn Bigfoot.
I mean, kinda. I mean, that's kind of how that reads to me. You know, it's with this understanding, we will examine the hairs and tissue mentioned in your letter. They should be submitted to the FBI laboratory. So, I mean, they thought it was important enough to test it.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, let's look. We'll look at it.
Yeah.
By the way, none of these independent labs so far about those little bitty aliens in Mexico, none of them have came out and said, never,
Man, now that is something I don't fucking believe. I don't believe. I don't believe those things look like damn beef jerky.
Well, how do you know what they're supposed to look like?
What are you talking about?
Okay, so what was it like in the Mexican Congress? Peru Congress. A guy came in. He had these dehydrated alien mummies that he was like waiting.
Oh, okay, yeah. I read about them, but I didn't see the pictures. I do remember reading about.
Well, there hasn't been a lab saying it ain't real yet.
I guess they probably ate it after they got done.
Oh, that's gracious.
That was teriyaki flavor right there, buddy. Let's see here.
And all the labs say that the dating is the age is at least appropriate, so it wasn't hoax. The age, at least.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got the picture. I'll pull that alien up here in a minute. I guess that's the deep south.
Really wild.
So they got the picture of that famous picture of Bigfoot in their FBI file. Let's see here. From time to time, we have been informed that hair supposedly of a Bigfoot has been sent on examination of the FBI.
Apparently, the FBI like to use that picture about an unknown suspect. That's like a running gag in the FBI.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, then.
Please understand that our research here is serious, that this is a serious question that needs answering, and that an examination of hair or the opposite by the FBI does not in any way, as far as we're concerned, suggest that the FBI is associated with our project or confirms in any way the possibility of the existence of the creatures known as Bigfoot. Let's see here. References made to your letter. Bigfoot's ass right there.
Man, is it big?
No, it's actually very tiny.
He looks like he's getting ready to hump that tree.
Yeah, he does. He's going to have some fun with that Bigfoot fuck.
He got flat booty like me.
He does got flat booty.
Yeah.
He got some good gains, though. He got some nice shoulders.
Like me.
Sorry, you Bigfoot.
And right below that is a picture of the outline of his cock.
Like me.
It's just that one little.
If you blink, you'll miss it.
Oh, Lord.
Is it Bigfoot or can it be a hoax? Looks like they got samples right there, newspaper clippings. This institute goes into which kind of set the record straight. Yeah, it doesn't seem anything. Recognition and the last. Yeah, it looks like it's just kind of repeating a lot. Background information, synopsis, current.
It's a bunch of non-answers, basically.
Yeah.
Well, do they discredit it?
No, they don't.
They don't discredit it,
But they
and they don't credit it either. So,
Wow.
I mean, to be honest, when you look at it that
yeah.
perspective, it probably means it's accurate.
Purpose details.
Because you got to think, if there was any kind of
hold on. So the hairs were determined to be from a member of the deer family.
Okay.
Was delivered to the laboratory. Mr. Curtis requested that a letter setting forth the results of the examination be furnished to him. He also requested the hairs be returned to him. Yeah. So yeah, deer hairs. And I guess that's right there, images of the hair. It does kind of look like deer hair.
Is it very short?
Oh, I see. No, it doesn't look short, but I mean, I guess it's about, I don't know,
It's
about
kind of wiry,
between
though. I mean,
between 4 and 6 centimeters, or
What the hell, centimeters?
it's the metric system
all right.
used everywhere but here.
Aliens of Peru. Scientists unveil pair of mummified alien corpses. Let's see.
That's right. Corpses, Doug.
Mexico shows off 1,000-year-old alien corpses.
I think that this is just a really good way to get back at us for calling them aliens for all these years.
But, you talk about like all the UFO sightings, and I mean the fact that the government has finally disclosed like UFOs being real, not necessarily not necessarily like extraterrestrial beings, but just the fact that they are here.
I love how in the most government way they have to say, no, these are UAPs.
Yeah.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Let's see what this fellow's got to say.
Yeah, he looks
Mexico pulling back the curtain on what they believe are aliens and put 2 of those corpses on display. Take a look. These small mummified specimens were unveiled at Mexico's first ever UFO hearing yesterday. Yeah, it looks like E.T. You're right. The alleged alien corpses were found in Peru. They're believed to be 700 to 1,800 years old. They only had 3 fingers and elongated heads. X-rays of the aliens were also shown, and experts say one of the bodies has eggs inside of it. Maybe we could have alien babies.
A lot going on in Peru.
Yeah.
Right. So, is this real? Do people believe
I
this?
don't know.
As Leslie Lopez says, we want DNA samples.
Yeah. And then we're eventually going to find out that aliens look nothing like we think they look. It look nothing like ET.
It looks like a stone carving. It really does. What is that?
I don't know.
Indiana Jones.
Laugh all you want, libtards.
I mean,
I call bullshit on that.
It did look like a carving. I wouldn't say stone. I'd say maybe it was a wood carving that's been very.
Now,
I'll wait for the evidence.
Now, this one I actually found very compelling, and I actually believe that there's something to it.
If this is the one I've seen, then I agree with you.
Yeah,
but I'm not.
It's kind of wild, actually, because even the police were like, "No, like some weird shit was going on." the X-Files.
It's a scene straight out of the X-Files. A family in
The
Los Angeles
X-Files.
is insisting something is out there after allegedly having a close encounter of the third kind.
I swear to God, this is not a joke.
One witness calling 911 after they say an object fell out of the sky and landed in their backyard.
They're like 9 foot, 10 foot tall. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes, they have big eyes.
The mysterious object that fell from the sky, even the officers apparently saw that. The green glow of the alleged UFO is seen on this newly released body camera footage.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star, then these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
So when that 911 call came in, less than an hour later, police were ready to believe it.
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
Because I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard? Or?
But after a brief investigation of the yard, officers closed the case as unfounded.
If those 9 foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
According to former intelligence officer David Grush, an alien crash landing isn't too far-fetched. Grush recently turned over documents to Congress claiming the U.S. government has a vast collection of vehicles that have non-human origin. Andrew Dimberg, ABC News, New York.
Yeah, so that one I kind of buy. I mean,
Now an
Now look, I just want to tell y'all, my cats, they built a car down in the basement. Would that be of non-human
Your cats
origin?
built a car?
Yeah.
How did they do that?
I'm still been asking them, but they won't tell me. Meow's the word. I'm just making a silly joke.
I think y'all are mocking me because I believe in aliens.
No, I believe in aliens.
Hold on real quick. Let's see here. Yeah. I believe in aliens. I do believe in aliens.
I do.
Now, there's a lot of speculations, though, going back to Bigfoot, that Bigfoot is, in fact, an extraterrestrial being, and that is why you can never actually catch him, because he can basically shoot back up. And that he's able to change shape, too, but that is...
not just... He could be an extra-dimensional being.
Well, I've actually heard that, too. I have heard that he's an extra-dimensional being. In which, honestly, I can kind of get behind the idea of multiple dimensions and parallel realities. Especially if you want to start going down the rabbit hole of Mandela effects.
You want to know something that's interesting about the Bigfoot? I may have talked about this in a previous one, but something that really sticks out to me. I don't really want it to become well known, but Bigfoot is never aggressive until you're aggressive towards him.
Mm-hmm.
Never. He never attacks the people. He's otherwise indifferent towards humans.
Yeah.
Until you point a gun at him or throw rocks at him or whatever.
Well, there's a lot of a lot of things saying if aliens and stuff like that are interdimensional beings, were going to hurt us, they would have done it. And they would have messed us up because they have the technology to do it. And I think. And I swear I cannot find it anywhere, but I heard it. I heard about it. It was an interview with a Bigfoot chaser, and he actually went to the Land Between Lakes, and apparently there's Indian burial mounds in Middle Tennessee where they actually house a lot of these. Now, one thing I do find interesting, especially in terms of the South, in Georgia, we have a lot of Indian burial mounds and native burial mounds, and they're all empty. The archaeologists and anthropologists, they all came and excavated it and extracted everything, and so basically all you're seeing is just almost like a recreation. And that's not wrong. I mean, that happened, So I mean, we don't know what was in those things. We don't know what they had seen, And I don't know. Weird stuff. Really weird stuff. What are we talking about?
Monsters.
Hey, it all correlates. It all goes back to Bigfoot. So, did you all know that the Bell Witch was also in Alabama? Not just Tennessee?
No.
Yeah. Speaking of monsters.
That's a fake one if I've ever heard of it.
It's probably Bigfoot, too.
Yeah.
Everything's Bigfoot. So the Bell Witch was actually in Alabama, too. John Bell moved from Halifax County to North Carolina to one of the 100 acres of land near a settlement that later came to be known as Adams Station. Over the next decade, John and his wife spent most of their time working on the farm and raising their 8 children. Their lives became the stuff of folklore in 1817 when a vengeful woman named Kate Batts entered their lives. The bad blood between them can be traced back to a business deal in which Bell sold Batts a slave and charged her excessive interest. Before long, the family heard a number of blood-curdling sounds inside the house, including knocking, scratching, and the smacking of lips. Bell's daughter, Betsy, complained of being pinched and slapped by an unseen hand. The haunting of the Bell family gained widespread notoriety following the investigation of the house by a neighbor and friend, James Johnston, and his son, John, both of whom claimed to have conversations with the entity. Following his victory at the Battle of New Orleans, Andrew Jackson visited the Bell family. He and his entourage were about a mile from the farm when his wagon inexplicably stopped moving after Jackson blamed the strange occurrence on Kate Batts. The men heard a spectral voice saying, "You may continue, gentlemen." For some reason, the spirit was kind towards John's wife and sang hymns, and even brought her bowls of fruit. However, over time, Bat's hatred of John Bell intensified at one point. She cursed Bell, whom she referred to as Old Jack, and even vowed to kill him. She carried through with her promise in 1820 when Bell died from poisoning. Batts even interrupted Bell's funeral by singing drinking songs. 7 years later, the Revenant returned, tormenting Lucy and her sons, Richard and Joel, bless you. Although John Bell's persecution by the Bell Witch is generally considered to be associated with Tennessee, one particularly bizarre element of the story has an Alabama connection as well. John Bell first realized that an otherworldly force had entered his life in 1817 while walking through his cornfield. Suddenly, a large animal appeared in front of Bell. Later, Bell told his wife, Lucy, that at first sight, the beast seemed to be a mongrel dog with patches of white on its back and chest. It had very large paws, and its tail was just a puff of fur. As Bell continued staring at the creature, he realized that it had the head of a large jackrabbit with ears that stood straight up. He aimed his rifle at the thing and fired, but it bounded away unharmed. Even though the shot was at close range, shaking his head, Bell said that the animal ran faster than any dog he had ever seen. A century later, the weird canine reappeared in Florence, Alabama, according to an article that appeared in the Montgomery Advertiser on February 25th, 1912. And the article went, "The Bell Witch, which many years ago brought terror and destruction to an East Tennessee family, has reappeared this time in Blackburn Beat, Lauderdale County. According to the belief of some residents of that place, the story has reached Florence that a strange animal is seen roaming in that section, in which resembles a large dog, but the most terrifying part is its scream. This can be heard for a mile and more or less resembles the scream of a woman in terror." You know, it's really weird. Everything we've talked about tonight has talked about basically the screaming of a woman. You know,
Scary sound.
And it's, you know, I'm sure it's like a bobcat. I'm sure it's an animal, but it's weird how everything kind of correlates and falls back together. Which, in a way, could disprove a lot of it, or it could prove a lot of it. This can be heard for a mile or more. The animal is reddish brown with color, with a white streak about its throat. Few have seen it, but many have heard it, and the boldest are afraid to be abroad after dark. Remembering the sad fate of Judge Bell, no one has had the courage to shoot at the animal. Squire Silas L. Bradley of Blackburn Beat, who was a recent visitor to Florence, is convinced that a deep mystery surrounds the strange animal. Some parapsychologists believe the sightings of the dog beast are proof that Kate Batts was in fact a shapeshifter who possessed the ability to transform herself into an animal, much like a werewolf or vampire. Why she decided to manifest in Alabama is anybody's guess.
Well,
interesting shit.
Very interesting.
The video, I don't think it's frozen, John. I think it's just.
You had a different page up. I see.
So, you guys got anything else as far as Monsters of the South? It's getting about 11:30. I think we need to probably wrap it up here soon.
I'm about to drop a monster in the toilet.
The Monster of the South, you mean?
That's right.
So, need to plan some trips. We need to come out there. So, if you guys are listening, or if you come and watch us, we always seem to have a lot of viewers after the fact.
They missed the Dairy Queen skunk ape story.
Man, that's going to be a TikTok if I've ever made one.
Yeah, that's you might have to blur out names and everything just to be safe. That's hilarious.
But with that, though, so the Wendibros will actually be switching over to their own channel We have a TikTok. We do have a YouTube channel set up too, which this one and the other ones that we have, which were previously known as the Blood Brothers, will be updated to reflect the Wendibros. So a lot of it's not really going to change too much. We just figure with the Blood Brothers, there's a lot of stuff that uses that too. It's not just the band, but like I think there's like a Hispanic rap group called the Blood Brothers, and it's just a very common name. So the Wendibros kind of popped in my head whenever I was researching the Wendihoos, and then with a little bit of sketching and some AI, I managed to make a cool little emblem. And so I think whenever we do some videos and stuff out there in the field, and we'll probably have that pretty present and everything too. A lot of really cool stuff coming up, and hopefully we get time to do it, and we all get together and
yeah, I hope so.
So,
be fun.
But there's gonna be a lot of stuff into it too. If we get bigger, then expect some merch and stuff like that too. That'd be pretty cool to have. And but
I'd wear it.
Yeah, I would too. So with that being said, are there monsters in the South? Well, yes, they're everywhere.
Yes,
and sometimes they're us. But you can find us on TikTok at the Wendibros. You can find us on YouTube at the Wendibros, and we got.
You can find this monster in Kingsport, Tennessee.
Yeah. You can find me in Georgia currently, which I may be a Nashville resident soon enough, and but so I'm a Georgia peach, and I'm getting ready to see. I can't call myself a Georgia peach anymore. I don't like that.
You'll always beat my peach.
That's all right, as long as you eat me.
Just slightly hairy with luscious big pits.
So,
all right.
John, our resident skeptic for the night, and Michael and I are the believers.
Always.
Now listen, all right, listen. I'm a believer in most of this stuff. I'm just saying, some of them tails were a little bit taller than I could see past.
Tell you one thing, I need to go find Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Man,
I have not had a Dairy Queen in a long time, man.
Funny story. I don't remember where it was, but a friend, one of my friends said that they went and they ordered a milkshake from just some fast food restaurant, and I think it was, I don't remember if it was McDonald's or if it was Burger King, but the person made them a shake and then dumped it out they handed it to him at the counter, and they were like, "Oh my God, I used to work at Dairy Queen, and I'm still, where they make the blizzards and then they dump them upside down to show that it's stuck." Apparently, this woman who used to work there just dumped a shake out everywhere on the counter because they used to work at the Dairy Queen. So that might be where all that sticky chocolate mess come from.
What would be funny though is if they just made a terrible milkshake, and they got so embarrassed by their terrible milkshake skills that they just blamed it on Bigfoot and shut the whole place down.
I mean, that's as believable as the story I just told, right?
What we need to find out is who was Byron.
We need to find Byron that he used to work
Chat, we need your help.
We need to figure out who Byron at Dairy Queen was.
We will have him on to tell us the story. His side of the story.
Man, you know what? I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to reach out to that dude. I'm going to see if I can get him on the show.
Honestly, yeah. Can you message him on Facebook?
Yeah, I probably can.
Can we make this happen?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think
John, if he sounds like a 50-something-year-old, you're going to have to take back what you said.
You're going to be eating crow, John.
Hell, it won't be the first time. Probably won't be the last.
He's going to go out there and he's going to crank up that hog.
He's going to say, "Listen here, you dumb son of a bitch. I know Dairy Queen and Bigfoot."
Well, let me tell you, you damn liberal. I'm
I'll say, well, I'll tell you what, you're awful dumb because it wasn't Bigfoot, it was the white Alabama damn thing.
You think I don't know the difference between Alabama barbecue and yum sauce? They're different.
I eat it on my salads too.
Right,
all right.
I toss it.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna talk to that guy. I'm gonna see if we can get a hold of that guy. I want to really know.
That is a win for the channel.
Wasn't it? Wait, which one was the anonymous one?
He was anonymous, but I bet I can comment on there and see if I can do something. Like, hey, you can you reach out
to the
me.
Man who saved Byron's life.
I'm gonna find this guy and
Bambo
John, you
barbecue?
have to be nice to him.
I will be nice. You know me. I can't be rude to people like that. Bet. You're right. Bet. I'll say
I just won $20.
Oh my god! Now what was the fast terminology?
You said 55 minutes. Why not 52?
Well, yeah, I said that. But what was the term that they said that was fast? That I didn't think an old person wouldn't use that terminology.
Swift.
You know what I'm talking about.
White Fang Facebook. Well, now I'm curious. Alabama White Thing. There's a lot of white things. There's a lot of white things in Alabama. Let's see here.
We just need John to be the permanent skeptic.
No, this is the look. I do it one time.
Hella is not
hella quick.
Yeah,
hella quick.
People use hella.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if they were
he's a Hell's Angels.
If they were 52 back then,
I'm pretty sure I experienced it. Was hella quick. I guess I was about 52 years old, but he didn't say how long ago it was.
That's right.
This is on November 6th.
My birthday.
Is it really?
See, more believable.
He said, I guess when I was about 52 years old. I'm just saying, how old do you have to be before you have to guess how old you were?
I don't know how old I am. I swear to God.
Yeah, but dude, all right, we're not going to get into your personal history as to why that's probably possible.
I mean, I can tell you stories from 10 years ago, and I can't tell you exactly what age I was, though.
Yeah, but you would that's what I'm saying, but you would say you were you would take your age, you would subtract 10 from it.
I wouldn't say.
I mean, I would say when I was about 26.
I wouldn't say I was 26. He said I was about 52 years old.
So
yeah. What if he's 60?
He's 62.
But using that logic though, and you subtract. So say he's 62, and you can say, well, it was about 10 years ago. I was about 52.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he's about 62 years old, I doubt he's saying hella quick.
Yeah. So he subtracted 10 from his age.
And driving a Harley.
Well, why can't he be 52 and not drive a Harley?
I'm saying using that terminology while driving oh my Lord. I'm just saying that
we live in a culture of information where languages are constantly fed to us.
Traveling at quite the clip.
Yep.
I've never heard anybody say quite the clip that rode a Harley.
Well, you ever heard a young person? You ever heard a 12-year-old lion say that?
I've never heard a young person say quite the clip.
Yeah, John.
I wouldn't say quite the clip. I would say though, if he's a weekend rider, he's probably. I wouldn't imagine him being like a grizzly Harley dude.
Well, that's true. I'm not trying to.
We're making this story more and more true, John.
I called over to the Dairy Queen. Well,
exactly.
when he calls it the Dairy Queen, he does hold on everyone too.
See, Christy's on our side in the chat.
She knows. She knows rednecks.
She's always against me.
That is not true at all. You two have jumped to each other's aid against me many times, John.
Christy's always against me.
That's true. That's very true. Oh, and Christy said in there, that's a damn lie, John.
John just trying to be a victim now.
You know,
all right,
John, I hope you go to a Dairy Queen and you see.
I'm avoiding Dairy Queens because I'm afraid of seeing them white things around.
Could you imagine John? John's a doubter. He goes to a Dairy Queen and walks that thing.
Imagine though, imagine that you're Bigfoot, but like, you try to go like you're like, okay, I'm going to actively avoid Dairy Queen so I don't meet Bigfoot, so I don't make a fool of myself. And then you go to like Pals or something, and then you see Bigfoot there, and he's like, man, I used to go to Dairy Queen, but this guy on a Harley made such a big fucking deal out of it.
I'm just saying,
Who's prejudiced against me?
The story doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Exactly.
Is it supposed to make sense?
I mean, I would hope.
White ape.
It's not about the white ape, the stuff that doesn't make sense, though. The place only had motion sensors. What does that even mean?
I'm right next door to the door.
They only had motion sensors, so they didn't have cameras, so they couldn't. But what does even motion sensors have to do with anything? If they had motion sensors, yeah, I guess so. Place only had motion sensors.
The lights turned on.
The lights came on, and he didn't run away, so he just decided to dicky up the place with the chocolate ice cream and the cups and napkins.
That poor guy. Poor old white thing just trying to get chocolate ice cream.
He just
panic runs.
He said, I came through earlier and I ordered vanilla. All right. And they gave me this fucking sticky chocolate shit.
I bet he tasted it. He didn't like it. He just slung that stuff all over the place.
No, me don't like chocolate.
He's like, what was this garbage?
Some interdimensional, highly intelligent being phased through just to go to Dairy Queen. And he was like, this stuff tastes like shit. All
right, listen. When you all eventually animate this story word for word, I think you'll understand just exactly how ridiculous it sounds.
I completely understand how ridiculous it is, which is why I believe it.
No, well,
John, in my mind,
there's a line.
It's described so well, that motorcycle ride right when he passes by him. In my mind, I see it.
I see it. I can see everything that Southern dude is saying.
He said it ambled out in front of him.
Yeah.
And he was traveling at quite the clip. But it ambled out in front of him. He tried to touch it, but it ran at a brisk pace over the embankment.
But, dude, we have ridiculous stories that nobody would believe had we not been there.
I agree.
I once saw a Glenn Danzig lookalike fornicate himself on top of a gay bar.
That's way more believable. If you would have inserted it into a tale like this, I wouldn't have believed it.
It wouldn't have been as interesting.
Oh, sorry, Christy says corpse grinder, not Danzig.
Oh. See, I knew it was a lie.
Yeah. I once walked through an empty business with an elderly man as he talked about how he closed off the roof of a downtown Kingsport building in order to suffocate pigeons, and then rode an elevator in pitch black with him. That's a true story.
What?
Yes.
What?
For next time.
The old man. Okay, all right. Look, I don't care. I'll be wrong. I'll be the bad guy this time. I don't give a shit.
We're gonna have this guy on the show.
I'm just saying.
Man, I hope that if we can get him on, I hope that he's the most Southern dude in the world. Like, man,
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. I'm like, why didn't you admit to the guy a month ago that it was in Heflin? All right.
I'm about to go visit Heflin. All right. So, anyways, you can find us on multiple social medias, if you will. And John also has a Kendama Instagram. I'm not sure if John's made the Wendibros Instagram yet, but And then he also is in a band called Strangers When We Meet. Michael saw Godzilla last night.
It was incredible. Best movie I've seen in probably 5-6 years.
Yeah. I'm gonna try.
I'm not joking.
This week. It has a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, I'm telling you, man, and I mean, not just horror movies. It's a top movie all time to me. It is good.
Oh yeah, no, I want to see it. Do not watch The New Exorcist unless you want to laugh.
That's really disappointing. Is it funny? Is it honestly funny though?
It's so bad it's funny at times.
Yeah.
All right, Christy. Okay.
Christy's just roasting you.
I'm gonna remember this, Christy. One day.
She's always on your side, John. I don't even know what the problem is.
Yeah, and I'm always on her side too. And look at how she's repaying me.
Well, I mean, it just shows that she has integrity.
Yeah, once in a lifetime.
That's what this pain in my heart's called?
Yeah, it's called your lies are weighing heavily on you, John.
Integrity.
All right, so we're ending it tonight. To the chat, anybody watches after, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully that you'll follow us to our next channel. Again, Captain Bowie will be primarily gaming and just fucking around. Where the Wendibros will still be fucking around, but we'll just be trying to do it a little more
in style,
a little more consistently, and not tied up with another channel, and in style. I'm gonna get jackets made for everybody. So, alrighty. With that, we got Doug, John, and Mikey out. Thank you all for tuning
in. Wendibros out.
Wendibros out, and on a new adventure.